Yeah, so we're at Chimo Farms here. One of the benefits of the myFS Agronomy app is in the sharing of machine data. So at this farm, they share their planter data, their sprayer data, and of course their harvest data. So when I come to the field, I don't need to ask them when they planted, what they planted, when they sprayed, or what they sprayed with. It's all in the app. It's along the bottom. All those icons record all the different field activities. So I just need to open up my app, walk into the field, click on the app. So I know that this was planted on April 23rd to decal 101.35. And right now we're in the field here in October, early October. And I want to know just what the plant health is looking like and what the finish is like on the crop. So I know that on July 17th, they sprayed the Ultima DLX in here. So then I kind of can go from there as to what's the status of plant health and the standability and the grain fill. So when we look at some of the things that are going on here, because we've had such a extreme in weather, although this farm has about 3/4 of normal rainfall, it was pretty hot during grain fill period, a lot of days over 30, and every once in a while we'll see a cob like this that's had the shank kinked, much like you kink a garden hose to slow up water flow. The same thing happens in some of this corn, and this slows the flow of sugar to the cob, and you end up with some incomplete grain fill to the point where you can kind of twist the cob back and forth, where you know you just haven't got good grain fill. So I've been in here early, I've collected some of these samples, and it takes almost 95,000 kernels to make a bushel with this kind of cob, or some of these other cobs here that are got a much better finish. We're down to 75,000 kernels to make a bushel. So at even population and even kernel count, that's the difference between 206 and 245 bushel the acre. So that's the impact of weather during grain fill and a final impact on yield. The other thing we're looking at here is standability. So then we talk about doing the push or pinch test. So if I do the push test, I'm standing next to the corn plant and I just push my arm out as far as I can to see if the stalk will break. In this case, it doesn't. You just keep moving along, pushing stalks out. And if at least 15% of the plants break off, like that one just did, down at the bottom node, then you know that perhaps this is a field you want to mark for early harvest. Could have some standability issues. This is a pretty big cob on this plant, so it's cannibalized the plant from both the top and the bottom to fill those kernels with sucrose. So the trouble is there may not be enough sugar in the plant to feed the kernels and keep the roots alive, and we run the risk some years of the roots dying off and stalk rot organisms colonizing through the roots in the lower part of the stalk, further aggravating standability issues. So far so good. We're not seeing a lot of those issues right now. And the other thing you want to do is we can split some stalks open just to see what the integrity of the stalk looks like. So even though this stalk broke at the lower nodes, it's still pretty healthy. Lots of white pith in there. It's just got a little bit brittle, a little top heavy. It's got a pretty big cob on it. But happy to see that the stalk integrity is still there. So probably don't have a lot of issues with potential stalk rot in here. This corn crop has changed dramatically in the last 10 days. Husk are starting to turn brown and open up. Kernel moisture here is getting down around 28, 27 moisture. So we're looking pretty good shape. The other thing that's noticeable here is the tar spot on the remaining green leaves. This tar spot came in about the first week of September. We got good protection from Ultima DLX that was sprayed July 17th. It's going to last at least 21 days full strength, and then it starts to taper off after that. So we had protection, I would suggest, all the way through the end of August. So anything that's come this late really has had no consequence on grain fill. We were black layered well before the tar spot showed up. So it's taken out the final green leaves, and I would say this has probably been here for the last 2 to 3 weeks colonizing the plant. But as you can see, there's not much left and not much impact on yield. So we'll see where the harvest ends up in this field, but so far it looks pretty good. And even though there's the odd bit of stalk breakage, it looks like we're going to stand pretty well through the harvest.